Hello, students. You are all welcome once again to our English class. My name is Ivan Selassie, and I'm your facilitator for today in English. How are you all doing? I trust you are all well and you are keeping safe. Today we'll continue with our lesson. How many of us remember what we did in our previous lesson? Abstract nouns. Good. Concrete nouns. Very good. Another. Proper nouns. Great. Common nouns. Very good. You are following our lessons very well, and that's interesting. Today, we move to a new topic under nouns, and we'll be looking at regular and irregular nouns. Regular and irregular nouns. And I'm sure this is going to be our last topic under nouns, and then we move on to another topic. Okay, let's look at regular and irregular nouns. But before that, let's look at the objectives for this lesson. Now, by the end of the lesson today, you should be able to form plural of regular nouns. You should be able to form plural of regular nouns. Number 2, you should be able to form plural of irregular nouns. You should be able to form plural of irregular nouns. Okay, there's something as abstract nouns here and give examples. Define concrete nouns and give examples. But we'll skip that because we have treated it in our previous lesson. Okay, regular nouns. To form the plural of a regular noun, you just add s. To form the plural of regular nouns, you add s. So regular nouns are nouns that form their plural by adding an s. For example, boy. The plural of boy is boys. You add an s to boy and you get boys. The plural of girl is girls. You add an s to it and that settles it. The plural of chair is also chairs. The plural of bottle is bottles. And the plural of pen is pens. So these are called regular nouns. You make their plural forms by simply adding s to their singular form. When we say a noun is singular, it means it's one. Singular is gotten from the word single, which means one. So singular means one. Plural means more than one. It could be 2, 3, 4, 1,000, and the rest. So singular is one, plural is many. Regular nouns form their plural by adding an s to the ordinary noun. Okay, let's look at irregular nouns. Beautiful. An irregular noun is formed by changing the form of its singular. Singular nouns that end with f have the f changed to v and then es is added. So for irregular nouns, they change their form. If they end with f, the f is changed to v in their plural form and then es is added. Examples are as follows. The example of elf is elves. The example of calf, a small baby cow, is calves, the baby of a cow. The plural of knife is knives. The plural of loaf is loaves. The f changes to become thing and then we add es. The plural of shelf is shelves. F changes to v and then es. The plural of leaf becomes leaves and the plural of wolf become wolves. So you see, unlike the regular form, the regular you would just add s, but here we are changing some things before we add not s alone but es. Even with this, it doesn't stay there. There are some nouns which end in f but you don't change it. We'll learn about that. But know that the first group of irregular nouns, when they end with F, you change the F to vin and then you add es. Example are leaf, which becomes leaves, shelf, which becomes shelves, loaf, which becomes loaves, and the rest. Very good. Let's continue. Now let's look at the second group of irregular verbs. With this second group of irregular nouns, the second group of irregular nouns. The second group of the irregular nouns form their plural by changing some vowel in the singular noun. You change the vowel, some vowels in the singular noun. For example, man, M-A-N, is singular, is an irregular noun. To get the plural, you change the A to an E and it becomes men. It becomes men. The plural of mouse, M-O-U-S-E, becomes mice. You change the O-U, you replace it with an I, and then you change the S to C and it becomes mice. These are irregular, they have no formula. Okay, unlike the regular that you just add an S. So mouse becomes mice. Woman becomes woman. Woman. Foot becomes feet. Tooth becomes teeth. Goose becomes geese. And cactus becomes cacti. Is that clear? They change some vowels in the singular to become plural. Take a good look at these words and memorize some of them, especially the way they change from their singular noun to their plural noun. Very good. Let's look at this. We say this is an item or person that is one, that is singular. When we look at singular, we say that it is an item or a person that is one. It is single, just one. It is not more than one. So for example, we have boy, we have shirt, we have church, and then bench. Boy, shirt, church, and then bench. These are all singular nouns. Singular nouns. When we say plural, this is a quantity that is more than one. Any quantity that is more than one. I was telling you at the beginning of the lesson. For a noun to qualify to be plural, it has to be two or more. It has to be two or more. Let's look at ways of changing singular nouns to plural. We've looked at the regular and the irregular, but there are more to be told. There are more to talk about. One, you just add s. That is for the regular, as we have spoken about. The second, you add es. For the second, you add es. Some nouns, to change it into their plural, you have to add es. Very good. Those who end in I, you change it to ie and then you add s. The nouns that end in y, you change the y to ie and then you add s. For example, family, it becomes families. It becomes families. Now maintain the original form of the singular noun. Some nouns don't change when they are plural. Some nouns don't change when they become plural. You still maintain the same singular as their plural. Let's take a look. Example, for boy, this, you add s. So for boy, it becomes boys. Girl become girls. Doctor, doctors. Teacher, teachers. Have you realized? This one are all regular nouns. You just change them by adding s. Okay, to form their plural, you add s. These ones, you add es. This is the rule for these nouns. Hero, especially those that end in o. Not all of them though. but most of those that end in O have ES at their end. So hero becomes heroes, the same hero but we add ES. Echo becomes echoes, the same O, then we add ES. Mango becomes mangoes. I hope you are familiar with this. Mangoes, you add ES. However, there are other words that end in O, but they are plural, you add S, not ES. Example, zoo becomes zoos. This is a place that we have animals, we keep animals. Logo becomes logos, and kangaroo, you add an S. Is that clear? These are the rules for these nouns. Let's look at the other nouns and see how they change to form their plural. Good. The ones that end in Y. The ones that end in Y. And we are saying that when they end in Y, change the Y to IE and then add S. Even this one is limited to some nouns that end in Y. Not all nouns that end in Y have this formula for their plural. So these are irregular nouns as well. So melody changes to melodies. 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 Fly also becomes flies. It also becomes flies. FLIES. You change the Y and then you change it to I and then you add ES. However, let's look at these ones. Monkey. Monkey still keeps the Y and then we add an S. Day. Day keeps the Y and then we add an S. And then valley keeps the Y and then we add an S. And we are saying that you add the S because there's a vowel before the Y. So when we look at monkey, there is EY. Anytime the Y is preceded by a vowel, you maintain it and you add the S. So monkey ends with EY. There's an E before the Y. E is a vowel, so we just add S. If the letter that comes before the Y is a vowel, maintain the Y and add the S to form the plural. Day has an A before the Y, so we maintain the Y and we add an S. And then valley, it has an E before the Y, so we maintain the Y and then we add an S. Very good. Let's look at these ones. Let's look at the ones that end with F, that you don't have to change the F, but you have to add the S. We've looked at the ones that you change the F to vein and then you add ES. Thief, half, knife, shelf. That one you change the F to vein and then you add ES. But these ones, chief, roof, and calf, you maintain the F and you add an S. You maintain the F and you add an S. For example, chief, it becomes chiefs. Roof, it becomes roofs. And calf becomes calves. Okay, so you have to read more, practice more, and know these words. There is no formula. Some of the words are on their own, and therefore you treat them as they ought to be treated. Very good. Now let's look at these words that there is no change in their plural form. They simply maintain their singular form as their plural. For example, corn is still corn. There's nothing like corns. Never say that. Alright? Corn is still corn. Tuna is still tuna. Tuna is still tuna. Fish is still fish. Never say fishes. No, it's wrong. Okay? The plural of fish is still fish. Trout is still trout. And then sheep is still sheep. Okay? Trout becomes trout. And then sheep is still sheep. They don't change when they are taking them to plural, they still maintain their singular form and do not change. Is that clear? Very good. For you to know more about these words, you have to read extensively. Get a book, read. Get your storybooks, read. Experience more words. Get familiar with these words and see how their plurals work. Very good. Now let's look at our evaluation. Replace the nouns in the following sentences with their plural forms. Replace the nouns in the following sentences with their plural forms. Number 1, the thief stole the jewelry. The thief stole the jewelry. Choose which one is correct and underline it. Number 2, the boy sang beautifully at the concert. The boy sang beautifully at the concert. Replace it with a plural correct noun. Number 3, the fly reproduce after their own kind. The fly reproduce after their own kind. Look for the word that is correctly spelled as the plural and underline it. Number 4, we mention the names of our hero in the songs we sing. Look for the plural and then underline it. Number 5, the doctor gave me a prescription yesterday. The doctor gave me a prescription yesterday. Underline the correct plural form. Alright. We end today's lesson with this evaluation. Till I come your way next time, keep safe and stay away from trouble. Bye-bye.